Hey there, welcome to 4 Minute Friday. This week I want to talk about storytelling, but specifically share with you a really simple but very powerful tip, a little tactic that'll make your stories have much greater impact with your audience. Now, if you haven't joined me before, my name is Brian Conway. As I said, this is 4 Minute Friday, where I take a few minutes on a Friday usually just to share with you something that'll help you make more sales. And storytelling is a key part, or should be a key part, of any type of presentation. Whether it's a demo, whether it's a kind of more formal just presentation, or even in a meeting where you're doing some discovery and you want to put some context perhaps around some of the things that you're talking about, stories are a very powerful way of doing that. So let me explain this very simple tactic to you, but I want to do that in the form of a story, if I may. Now, yesterday I was coaching somebody who was preparing a presentation, and they had built a story in there, and they were doing a demonstration, or planning to do a demonstration to a customer on their financial software that they sell. And they were talking about some of the processes. So they explained how an employee, let's say, wants to submit their expenses. So what the employee does is he or she or they will download a form, and then he will or she will fill that form in, and then they upload it to the website, and what that does is that notifies their manager. Now their manager, he or she or they, will then get an alert to get notification of the fact that they have had a submission by one of their individual contributors, their direct reports. And when I say they now, I mean the manager now, not they, the employee. And so I'll stop there. And this was how the story was going. And the point was, they were just, because they were calling everybody they, it was all getting very confusing, and they were trying to cover off every pronoun and keep it all politically correct, etc., which is important that we do that, but it just didn't really let the story flow. Now, here's the tip that I want to share with you. When you tell a story, and you're talking about individuals in particular, give them names. All right, it humanized the characters. People can relate better to them. So that story, as she reworked it, it became, so imagine you have an employee, and that employee is called Tom. All right, now Tom wants to submit his expenses. So Tom downloads the form, he fills it in, and he uploads it. And what that does then is it notifies his manager. So his manager is called Sarah. So Sarah will get a notification of the submission by Tom of his expenses. And anyway, so the story went on. Now, it's a subtle but such a powerful difference, because, as I said, it makes the story significantly more relatable. People can just sort of almost visualize the characters now because they've got names. You're humanizing the individuals within that story. So a little tip, just so simple, as I said, but can make such a big difference, is just to name the people within the story. And then, because they've got names, it helps minimize kind of confusion between, kind of, who are you talking about now? You said, do you mean they, the employee, the direct report, or they, the manager, or they, somebody else? Keep using the same phrase, it can get confusing. So little thing, big impact, and will make any story you produce and tell significantly more relatable to your audience. Hope you found that useful. If you did, please comment. Also, love if you like, share, and subscribe, and all that sort of good stuff. Always helps. And as always, I wish you a lovely weekend. I'm Brian Conway. This has been 4 Minute Friday. Have a great week next week, selling, and maybe adding some humanization, this naming of your characters, to any stories that you do have to tell or share next week. All the best. Bye-bye.